I am been waiting a really long time to review these bags, these two. I'm not really sure why it took me so long to actually do this, but these are some of my favorite camera travel bags. Of course, it's made by Think Tank Photo. This is the Shapeshifter series bags, and I got two of them to look at right here. And I'm excited to share it with you. Let's get into it. Okay guys, Shapeshifter series of backpacks from Think Tank Photo. These are legendary, are approaching legendary status. Photographers love them. They are designed a little bit with travelers in mind, but that's certainly not exclusive. And they're great bags, and I have two of them for a reason. They're a little different, and we'll talk about the reasons they're different, how they're different. But I'm excited to share these bags, and I've had them for a really long time, and even like before I've done any of these bag reviews on this channel, I've had these, and I just kind of I use them still. I used this one when I went to Miami for the Super Bowl, so I use them a lot, and I took this one to Africa with me when I went on safari. So these bags have been in my, they're the bags that I rely on when I'm needing a reliable bag to get the job done. I usually turn to one of these two bags, and instead of one of the bags I'm testing, because I don't know that bag very well, and I don't want to be out in the field and struggling with like, where are my things. So these two bags, two of my favorites. Let's talk about it. This is an old bag. This one is from 2009, the model series. It's the Shapeshifter. It's the original Shapeshifter 15 inch Shapeshifter. So holds a 15-inch laptop. This one is version 2.0 series of the Shapeshifter, and it's the 17-inch version, but it's also what they call the Naked Shapeshifter. So I'm going to set this one aside for a second. We'll talk about the concept of the Shapeshifter bag, and then we'll talk about what makes this one interesting and unique. So I'm just going to set that right here for a second. The Shapeshifter series of bags is known for its ability to collapse and shrink down to a very thin bag. Very thin. So, oops, I got caught in the zipper here. So once it's zipped down, it's a very thin bag, but you can still put your laptop in there and access your laptop. So you take your photography gear out, you get where you're going, but you still want to take your laptop. This is a really great bag to use. Now, there's so much to get into. I may jump around a little bit sporadically just because this thing has so many features that that it can be a little daunting. So now that we know where it gets its name, the shape-shifting zipper here, to increase or decrease the size of it, we can expand it out, and we know that it gets thicker. The reason that I used this one when I went to the Super Bowl in Miami this year is because I knew I'd be in crowds of people working and wearing it, and I didn't want to have a really thick really thick bag on my back that stuck out, and when I turned my body and end up knocking somebody down. So I wanted something a little more more like a regular backpack. So this is what I went with. Now when we open this thing up, this main pocket here, this is where it gets a little interesting for this bag. And actually, you know what? In the link up there, I think it's right about there. There's a link to the Think Tank bag called the Perception bag, and that has a very similar interior. It's the same style interior, and so I did a review on that bag. Really liked it, and actually we did a giveaway on that bag. One of the first giveaways on this channel. And we got more giveaways coming, so make sure you subscribe. Now, this is what makes it interesting, is these pockets. Now remember, I'm not showing you the version 2 of this bag. This design is from 2009, so I'm not trying to show you the newest bag. We'll get into that in a second on the other one, but I'm just showing you the concept of these pouches. So you put your camera in here, you put your lens in here, and you kind of zip them up, and it's just another way of storing it. It's not as deep, so you don't put a lens on a body and have it stick out this way. You can put it vertically if you want, and I've done that plenty. But you get, basically on this one, you get 5 pouches. On the upgraded model, or the version 2, you get instead of a pouch right here, you have a series of folding flaps. It gives you a little more versatility. But basically you put whatever you want in these things, and it's just kind of an interesting way to store your stuff. So now that we've seen the inside of this, I kind of want to jump to the volume 2, and we'll talk about that. But keep this in mind, because the one I'm going to show you next is different. This is the Naked Shapeshifter 17, and it holds a 17-inch laptop. So it's actually a lot bigger than the 15. It also has a tablet slot. So that's one of the upgrades from the other one. Tablet and laptop, and it has the exact same expandability feature as the other one. But let's take a look on the inside of the Naked Shapeshifter 17. Where's all my pouches? All those magical little pouches we had. This one it's called Naked because it doesn't have the pouches built in. What the idea of adding these straps in there is that you can actually use your modular pouches that you already have. So when you have a pouch like this for the belt system, you can take this and put it in here, and it becomes a pouch. And you take your other one and you put it in here, and it becomes, you start packing them in like this, and you know, you got your 70 to 200 lens in here, and you can put them in here, and you fill out this exactly the way you want it to be, custom to your thing. And so once you get to where you're going, you can take these out and customize it however you want and wear your belt. Now I know I just kind of stacked them in here, but the way these things attach in here is the same way as they attach onto the ThinkTank modular speed belt. So we have this little plastic and Velcro system, and you can see these little loops right here. So basically you just stick the plastic right there, you put the Velcro behind. See that? The Velcro piece goes behind, the plastic goes in, and then you can just Velcro that back on there, and you've got that thing attached in there. You got your lens in there. So you basically load this thing out with exactly how you want it, and you're good to go with these modular pouches. So that is one of my favorite ways to go, because sometimes I want to travel and then I want to be more selective about what I'm doing. And that's why when I went on safari, I had a lot of things going on, and I wanted to make sure that I had the right bag with me at the right moment. So I rearranged a lot of things. This becomes a really valuable piece, because then what you do, once you get your pouches out, then you put your pouches on your belt just like that, and now you have your belt system ready to go. And that's why you don't always, like if you're shooting like weddings, you can use this backpack to take to a wedding, and then when you get to the wedding, you put the belt on and you got your pouches and you shoot all day long, and it's great. Now there's one more piece of magic with this, is that, I'm just gonna take this off. There's another piece of magic with this, in that this belt, which is this is the, let me make sure there's a few models of this. This is the Pro Speed Belt version 2. So with this bag, it comes with a little tiny nylon webbing belt that you take off, that I immediately took it off. But you're able to unvelcro this part, and then you can actually put this belt on there and Velcro it back. And now if you have this belt being a waist belt to support when you're carrying the bag, it's pretty much genius. That's what I think. So I like that a lot. Is you got the belt You got your belt system. It's totally removable, and it serves several functions. So then you get to where you go and you put this thing on there. Now, while I'm on the back of the backpack here, I want to talk about it a little bit. This harness system, I'm not sure what it is about it, but it is very comfortable. It's extremely comfortable. The back padding is actually it's actually very thick, and it's very comfortable back. And the shoulder pads are very comfortable. These shoulder straps are not sure what it is, but they're very comfortable. Some other brands need to pay attention to whatever they're doing here. You can also see they've got the load lifters right here, which is nice, which is a nice add-on to be able to get that tight to your back. And then, of course, one of the upgrades from the original that is in these. I mean, I just don't understand why every bag doesn't have something like this. And this looks like it's just a piece of foam, but it is actually separates, and you can put your luggage pass through. So you set this right on top of your roller, and you're good to go. Every bag should have that. Every backpack should have that. Okay, you got your sternum strap. You know, the details don't need to go in every single detail. A couple little extra pockets on the shoulder straps for putting in, maybe in these days, maybe it's hand sanitizer. This little guy right here on the side is a water bottle holder, and it comes with it, and it is removable. So if you don't need to carry a water bottle, you can just take that right off. But it is handy. I've never taken it off a single time because I like having a water bottle. We've looked at this inside. We looked at why it's naked. We've looked at the belt. We looked at the harness. We looked at the laptop. What I want to talk about a little more on the inside, and then we'll talk about the outside, because the outside pockets are really well designed too. So on the inside here, on this flap, you see we've got a couple of pouches here, things that easily fit in here. A Rode mic fits in there so perfectly for the top of your camera, or like you know, snacks or whatever you want. This is actually a very nice mesh pocket. I really like how ThinkTank's mesh feels. This has a little bit of depth to it, so you can actually put quite a bit in there. You can see this has some depth. I think I can fit that in there, no problem, and then get it zipped up. So if you really wanted, I mean, if you really needed to really push the boundaries of what's what, you can get a lot of stuff in this upper pocket. But that's mostly what's in here. What's great about this is that even if you don't have any pouches in here, it works. It basically gives you a really nice backpack if you don't want to put camera gear in there. If you have school books and sometimes you want to take your camera gear, this actually works really well. If you have you're traveling and you want to put some packs of, like your packing cubes in here, it works perfectly because your camera gear is not getting in the way. The foam dividers are not in the way. So it's really just a very, very versatile backpack. But this right here is one of my favorite things about this series. Just a very elegant layout and just a massive amount of stuff in here. So like I mentioned, I used this when I went to Africa. I've used it several other times. It holds so much stuff in all these pockets. So let's dive into this pocket. These pockets here, a very good little pocket that has a felt liner, so you can easily put your phone in there, no problem. This pocket here zips all the way around, and it's actually a humongous pocket. You can fit tons of stuff in here. It has a little bit of depth, but it's just a giant it's just a giant pocket. Let me see if I can find something to put in there. All right, I found a couple things. Giant headphone case and GoPro with a bunch of accessories. So let's see if we can get both of those into this upper pocket. It's a tight fit, but both of those giant things fit in there, which I was skeptical as soon as I started putting them in there. I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna go, but it did. So that's awesome. This is, I mean, remember, this is gigantic headphones. and a pretty large GoPro kit. So anyway, inside of here, there are a lot of other organization, and it's just a really nice pocket. Again, it's that mesh, ThinkTank's nice mesh that they got here. A couple other like business, like pens and business cards, and a key fob holder, and just, you know, some basic organization, which is real nice. In this pocket is another quite large pocket. You get a lot of space. It actually has some depth, so you can actually, like, again, headphones fit in there. And yeah, it's going to bulk it out a little bit, and it might make using a tripod a little more inconvenient or not work at all. But if you need to, you've got the space to put some pretty large items in this pocket here, which is good. You can even see as I undo it, these little flaps here, it tells you that it's meant to be able to hold a lot of stuff. On the inside of here is another pocket right here. This holds a iPad really well. If you don't want to have your tripod on the outside, the iPad fits in there real well. And then on the inside here, let's see if I can show you this way better, is another pocket with some depth. You've got a little depth, and so camera batteries fit in here really well, and it's not mesh, it's like solid plastic, so anything you don't want getting too spread out. But again, just another really exceptionally large pocket that works really well. I put a lot of stuff in that pocket. Here in this pocket, this is just another pocket for storage, but it actually brings me to the point about the tripod system. So the tripod system, they give you, it comes with two straps. It comes with the tripod straps. So you hook those to these, to here and here. Now I actually had it kind of set up in the Kindred Dish special way of crossing them. But you put these two right here, and you put two right here, and then you open this pocket up, and you put the legs of the tripod in this pocket, and it stabilizes your tripod to the back. So that's really smart. What I did here on this one, I crossed them and used them at full length, and that's because I don't carry my tripod that way. But I might carry a jacket or a hat, or like I want to have some extra stuff that I want to stuff on there like that, and so that becomes just another way of doing it. But with this style of doing it, I block access to most of these outside pockets, so it's only something I do. I only carry it like this when I'm like really packed out and really trying to make the most of everything. But that's another way of carrying, which is pretty cool. I have really talked about most of the things I want to talk about with this bag. I love it. It was one of my, I've had a lot of camera bags. I can't say it was one of my first, but I've had this one for several years. I bought it for that Africa trip, and that was in 2017. And I'll show you some pictures from that trip. But it's just a really fantastic series of bags, and that's why I have two, because you got the one for your stuff, and you got the other one for flexibility. So I used to do a lot more weddings and than I do now, and so this pouch system was really great, and this backpack was really great. So if you're, you know, in fact, the version 2 series came out in 2016, so that was 4 years ago. And ThinkTank usually updates their stuff. They've been updating to a lot of things to version 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have a new version of these things coming out sometime in the near future. So if you wanted to keep your eye on their site to see if these are coming down in price, it's a good thing to do. Anyway, I'm Kindred Dish. Thank you for watching. I got more bag reviews. I got more camera stuff, more software, more all kinds of digital stuff to talk about. I'm trying to get more focused on, you know, this digital life. I've got some software tools I want to show you. I've got several new cameras that I want to get into, and just basically have a good time talking camera and travel and digital stuff. So anyway, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.